Buddy, let's just jump right in this. Let me make sure my volume's on. Let me get this up. Got some friends waiting to play some games, but I'm trying to get in the habit of getting this going every night. So, give likes, give subscribes, leave feedback. Let me know what else you'd like me to read. I mean, I'm going to be on Age of Apocalypse for about another 35 books or so. So, it'll be a bit. Right now I'm leading into reading Remender's X-Force run next. Here we go. X Factor. Enter now the Age of Apocalypse. Following the battles of Ascendancy in which my Lord Apocalypse conquered the continental United States, he transformed the island of Manhattan into his fortress stronghold. A new city as dangerously magnificent as the dark soul of Ensaba Nor himself. In the Age of Apocalypse, only the strong survive, while the rest pray for deliverance. Or run for their lives. Hurry, we've got to make it across the river before dawn. I'll follow you through hell, Artemis, if it gets us off this cursed island. Don't know if I can keep up. Feel weak. Stay with us, Tazia. Tazia, be strong. Leave her behind. She'll only slow us down. Shut up, Newt. I'd sooner leave you behind, you sniveling bow-legged. Enough! We broke out of the pens together, and we'll see it through that way. We are a team, for better or worse. Voila, Jean-Paul, our parade has arrived. I hope they resist, Jeannie Marie. Surrender, Artemis. You and your band of runaways have nowhere to go. Why bother talking, Scott? They're runaways. They might as well be flat scans. They're nothing. Cyclops, blast it all, Sinister sent the elite. We'll be lucky if they kill us, Art. When Apocalypse took Washington, his army was a cadre of mutants, savage and unyielding in battling against human and misguided mutant alike. Now, in the aftermath of their victory, they have succumbed to a certain decadent cruelty. I can forgive them for it. After all, in so many ways, they are my children. Vampires, you talk about the Brotherhood of Mutants, but you'd eat your young if Sinister commanded. Seismic shock. Such a pity that some mutants were too unstable to join my extended family, while others were too unrepentingly ingracious for that honor. Scatter! Don't try to engage in the elite in battle. Maybe one of us will make it. Why do you have to make it difficult? You know you can't win. Scott Summers, leader of my elite mutant force, pragmatic, efficient, and raised to be so much more than he knows. Dominic! Keep behind me, Tazzy. Nobody's locking us up. Ugh, this bloody well hurts. Pyro, stop. Every time you ignite, you burn yourself. Got no choice, sweetheart. If I'm going down, that arrogant black shirt goes with me. I love Pyro. I actually got a Pyro tattoo up here in my armpit of him and Necrotia. Alex Summers, like his brother, a battery of contained energy, but unlike his brother, too often without restraint. I loved that bike. Now you've got me mad, Aussie. Go to. I knew trying to escape was a mistake, North Star. Newt, you are a sorry excuse for a mutant. Jean-Paul Vabia, a child of light with a heart of darkness. I do not need to waste my energy on the likes of you. I am insulted that Sinister would send us to round up these sad creatures, my brother. We are the elite, the strong, not McCoy's half-breed infinites. No, I have nothing left inside the beast. Took everything. Pathetic. Jean Payabert, as corrupt as her twin. If you have any mercy, kill me now. Don't take me back to the pens. Artemis, smart. She's heading into Washington Square rubble. Plenty of places for her to use her mutant camouflage ability to lose me. Should have grabbed the infrared from my surprise. Ugh, didn't see her materialize until too late. Not all of us are ready to give up, like Fantasia Summers. Some of us rather die on our feet than live on our knees. You should have stayed hidden, Artemis. You're too weak to put up any fight. I'm not surrendering to you or any of Sinister's lapdogs. I won't give you that satisfaction. I don't want to have to hurt you. Your concern touches me, Summers, but you should know better. There's no place for compassion in post-apocalypse America. That's all that's left is pain and suffering. You could have had it different, but you refused Sinister's invitation. Now you've backed yourself into a corner. Honey, these days we're all up against a wall. No. So much for the Morlock. There's a bunch of Morlocks and Brotherhood of Mutant members. That was Pyro, Fantasia, or Brotherhood of Mutants. Artemis was a Morlock who camouflaged herself. Some of you might remember looking all rainbowish in the Fox series. So much for the Morlock. You didn't have to kill her, Alex. I had things under control. Dead or alive, what do you care? She was a rabbit. Besides, McCoy can still take tissue samples from the body. You're cold, Alex. And you are getting soft, my brother. Maybe I should have let her put this through your ribs. First law of apocalypse, survival of the fittest. I'm sure you remember. For over a century on this island, Lady Liberty welcomed the wretched refuge of the world, lighting the promise of a new world, but no longer. Now Liberty's generous Countess has been replaced by a stern and fearsome visage of apocalypse, a warning to the world that his American offers no secure to the homeless and tempest tossed. How fitting it is then that as I contemplate betrayal of my unforgiving Lord and secrete myself from his watchful eye, I stand in the representation of that same eye. Of course, as Sinister fourth perfect of apocalypse, I have long stood in the heart of the beast. After years of manipulating the development of a handful of mutants in secret, I finally have the resources to engineer the evolution of mutant kind to my design. An apocalypse threatens to destroy all my work by goading the human governments to the brink of world war. He has forced my hand sooner than expected. Therefore, I must abandon my elite mutant force, my spiritual progeny, to their own devices. I trust that Magneto and his rebellious brood will distract the other horsemen while I carry out my plot against the throne. Believe me, my children, it's better you know nothing of my plans. And though you will hate me for desecrating you like your biological father, know this, Scott Summers. Without you, what I'm about to attempt would have never been possible. Apocalypse entrusted me with the creation of the next generation of Homo Superior, a generation to be born not by accident but by design. With the pens, I finally have a genetic stockpile of human and mutant alike, from which I can spin genetic straw into gold. Kill the guard. And though I delivered these select few from the certain death of the Collings, only one of her, quick, before her brother. Some continue to rebel against their participation in my glorious design. I found the Guthrie orphans living in abject poverty in the hills of Kentucky. Y'all should have stayed behind the laser grid, flat scans. What a discovery of diamonds in the rough tanky of the siblings mutants. The rough three of the sibling mutants. Elizabeth, the teenage Amazon, whose megamorphic abilities allow her to increase her size and mass. Because now I'm going to have to do some serious, he's like, you should have stayed the lasers behind the grid flats, now I'm going to have to do some serious stomping. Need a hand, big sister? About time you showed Samuel Cannonball, whose anger channels into explosive and propulsive energy. I regret that their younger sister, Paige, refused my sponsorship. We've seen Paige's training with Kitty in Colossus. Now I'm going to show y'all what happens to norms who don't know their place. If you're lucky, you might be able to crawl back under your rocks. At ease, Guthrie. No need to be cruel. We are negotiating with the Human Council, after all. I don't give a rat's behind about the Human Council. You're in no position to give me attitude, Rook. The runners we spiked tonight escaped on your watch, and I have better things to do than clean up after wet-nosed punks, understand? Yes, sir. Alex, keep your droogs in line. I've got to check in with Sinister. Prelate, do I have to take that from him? Sinister made my brother head of the EMF. He outranks us all for now. Henry McCoy was a great, brilliant geneticist whose unorthodox experiments radicalized his own mutations. After the humans' fall, I tamed him even further, and together we created the Infinites, Apocalypse's hybrid mutant soldiers. Devoted to science, he works unencumbered by the moral dilemma of human vivisection. Is it any wonder that the prisoners call him the Beast? Let's raise those copper hackles, my Lupin companion. We have visitors to those shadowed halls of science. We have a visitor to those shadowed halls of science? A quest to his dark dungeon. You should keep the kennel gate closed, McCoy. You're letting out strays. Alex Summers, what brings my recent and high-ranking patient to these quarters? Are you experiencing separation pangs following your unfortunate transporter mishap? We seemed to get fucked up earlier. We got fused to that fucking thing. I still hurt from the hatchet job you did cutting that sentinel out of me. But I'm here to make sure you receive the mutants we stopped today. Indeed I did. My sincere and effusive thanks. All the silly talk about the Kelly's packs, restrictions on genetics of experimentation has reduced my supply of source material to a mere trickle. How's Mr. McCoy's baby boy supposed to create bigger, better, bolder infinites without bodies? You know what they say, you can't make an omelet without breaking 3 or 4 dozen eggs. By lowering the subjects into my gene pool, they are broken down into a basic protoplasmic soup. Grow up, Prelate. Nobody promised science will be pretty. From this genetic gumbo, I can manipulate nucleotide sequences as I please, creating a patchwork protein of mutant DNA that becomes the organic foundation of my infinites. Too bad your hybrids can't survive more than a year. The perils of accelerated tissue growth. I need a science lesson, McCoy. I don't need a science lesson, McCoy. Then why are you here, Prelate? My brother seems preoccupied lately. His reflexes are dulled, his judgment's impaired. As a scientist, you know that change is inevitable. Hypothetically, I will support whoever allows me to continue my work here. And you should remember that Sinister holds your brother in high regard. He'll not lightly overlook a fratricide. Well, I do know the chaos my departure will create among my mutant elite. As the stern patriarch, I gave my bickering children a purpose and duty. Without my guidance, they will remain bound by the science of their birth, or turn against one another, a familial rage. Concerning the Bedlam's brothers, Terrence and Jesse Arson, I have no doubt. Each would gladly die defending the other. Do you give up? To you, not in a million. Oh, hi, Scott. Sorry about the door. We were just fooling around. Jesse started it. Did not. Do you two ever stop? We've been like this forever. You know how it is between brothers. Yeah, sure. Say, fearless leader, we're going to heaven tonight. Why don't you join us? You look like you could use a night on the town. No, I can't. I've got to find Sinister. Our last conversation was very disturbing, and I haven't seen him since. If you change your mind, boss man, you know where it will be. Come on, little brother. We better get dressed. The ladies hate when we're late. I could always tell Scott envied the Bedlam's bond. I need to see Sinister. At times, I imagine he's felt as alone as the disembodied telepaths I've bred as gatekeepers. Sinister is presently unavailable, Prelate Scott Summers. I have conditioned their psionically sensitive brains to recognize and respond only to specific thought patterns. He can't have just vanished. Where is he? I told you once, my grim son, that we are looking at the end of the world. I didn't think you'd realize then I was telling you goodbye. I don't think you realized I have set you free. They say in Manhattan that everyone who is anyone can be found in heaven. The penthouse nightclub that welcomes those mutants classified by Apocalypse as the best of his breed, the alphas, and those very select humans alike. A music-filled neutral zone from the genetic conflict that boils outside. If we're gonna die, we might as well party at Ground Zero. Sorry, I don't date lolers. Feeling that the heat in heading north, Washington can get you letters of transit, Laszlo, if you've got. They say the singer's intimately involved with a high-ranking prelate. At least one of the Summers brothers decided to let his hair down. I swear, Alex, you couldn't force your brother to have a good time. Sit down, my friend. Jesse's buying. Later, perhaps. I have other things to attend to. Not official business, I hope. Not this time, Worthington, although I'm told the Cajun trader was here recently. Anyone who can pay is welcome here, Alex. You know that. I'd hate to have to shut it down. This is the last decent place in the city to get a drink. I appreciate the sentiment, but I doubt it's my liquor reserves that keeps you coming back. I think it has more to do with the musical stylings of Heaven's incendiary torch singer, the lovely Scarlett Mackenzie. Thank you, you're very kind. My next number is an old Cole Porter tune. Let's do it, let's fall in. I think it's ironic the Tank Girls sang that in the movie too. Have I got your attention, you mutant abominations? Humanity will never bow down to freaks like you. You can't kill us all. In the end, the righteous will dance on the grave of Homo Superior. You let Gyrick in here? Don't you have a dress code? Don't blame me. I thought you rooks rounded up all the genetic fundamentalists. Jesse, shall we? Excuse us, ladies. This will only take a minute. If you don't believe me, the explosives wired to my body will destroy trout, dresser, hold, trace blue, doorknob. Are you all right, Scarlett? We acted as quickly as we could. Believe me, my boys, I played tougher crowds than this one. Thanks for the assist. It's hard to compete with gunfire. For those who don't know, Henry Gyrick is the fucking racist ass dude who's the leader of the Friends of Humanity in the Fox cartoon, and he's no, sorry, he's not. That's Graydon Creed. Sorry, Henry Gyrick is the dude who runs around with Boulevard Trask in the cartoon who's like, I told you to build more Sentinels, Trask. It's that motherfucker. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause for my heroes, the Bedlam Brothers. Consider the mutant abilities of the Arsons and Zeitgeists a sign of the chaotic times. They love us. What's not to love? One instills mental confusion while the other psionically monkey wrenches machinery. Now, since I'd be a fool to try and follow that act, I'll simply say good night. On stage, the singer appears open and intimate with her adoring audience. Off stage, she keeps the truth of her life guarded in secrecy. Secrets can be seductive. They can also prove deadly. She's a human. That's part of the issue. I have kept secrets in the House of Apocalypse, and if I am lucky, that house will fall before all my secrets are revealed. Uh-oh, Dad's still awake. Should have gone with the Scott. Heaven was absolutely rocking. There was music, dancing, a terrorist attack. What more could you ask for? Oh, my brother's above enjoying the perks of our station. He'd rather play the martyr than let himself have fun. I take my duty seriously, which is more than I can say for you. You were expected back an hour ago. Alex got lost backstage. Can't say that I blame him. She's extremely attractive for a... Watch your mouth, Arson. If you're implying I'm involved with a flat scan, you'd better be prepared to defend yourself. Calm down, Alex. Jesse was only kidding. We all know the penalties for miscongeniation. Can't breed with humans. If you're through, we have a real problem. Follow me. Gatekeeper, we demand entry to Sinister Sanctum. I cannot give you access, Prelate Prelate. Sinister is unavailable for an audience. Why are you worried, Scott? Sinister's a horseman. He comes and goes as he pleases. This is different. His comm line is down. There's been no response for days. Terry, I want you to bypass Gatekeeper. Are you sure? Do it. I'll take full responsibility. Not a problem. One psychic lockpick coming up. Dog sweat wandering feeble. It's open. Let me go on record as objecting to breaking into Sinister's private chambers. I don't think it matters, Alex. Who could have done this? One of Magneto's treacherous crew? I had no choice but to slag the equipment that held decades of research data. I can't afford to leave any clue to my desperate design. No, Sinister did this himself. Everything he said makes sense now. Sinister disagreed openly with Apocalypse, but I never imagined he would do this. You can't be serious. He abandoned us. Well, if Sinister skipped town, who's going to run the show now? Scott's been Sinister's right hand. Nobody knows the pens better than him. Scott? Right? I'm in charge. Not if I have anything to do about it, brother. The fuse is lit. An apocalypse awaits the explosion. Humanity and mutant kind have so little time left to them. And time is more of the essence than ever. Auto self-destruct sequence engaged. Therefore, my children, I can shepherd you no longer. You are on your own. Next, a desperate fight for survival ensues for the prisoners of the breeding pens as brother turns against brother in a world gone mad. Thank you, guys. This one was fucking dope. Thanks for letting me read to you guys. And I've been enjoying this. I love this series. I keep mentioning that. And if you enjoy it, give me likes, give me advice, help me out. I know I can do a bigger production. I can do it better. I'm just doing it super fucking raw because I'm punk rock like that. But I know the punk with better production brings a bigger audience, and sometimes it's just a little better. So just let me know what's up, guys. I love you all. Thank you for watching, and take care.